Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmiel Shine, Bashim Rakah Kwadash, and double honors to that apostles of the great millstone, and including the bishops on down, and Yahweh Bashmiel Shine Rakatham, 240 and 4,000, and the 1/3 as well to do follow. And I want to get into this news as well concerning the time, which is what is looking like that is approaching, which is the time of the famine of the word, and as well as the persecution of the prophets. This has always been in the books of the elite to get rid of the real truth is in sight, because as well as the elder apostle Gabar did a lesson, and the name of the lesson was the doctrine of Yahweh Shai is against something to the equivalent against the new world order, or this world in general. All right. And that is the absolute truth. These are they that despise the truth because it's in them. Their spirit does not resonate with the truth. Their spirit only resonates with lies. This is how they were able to get up and above everybody and everything. Okay. By their lies and by ruling with the sword according to their blessings. So as this reads, the UK government is considering a new, looser definition of extremism, a new threat to free speech in the UK. And as well as this reads, also, the authorities in the UK are continuing with the attempts to broaden the definition of extremism and behavior deemed as undermining, overturning British values. Critics say the whole wiggly thing is the road to authoritarianism. Authoritarianism, a new step said to be in that direction, is a proposal presented by Communities Secretary Michael Gove, who is reportedly using previous initiatives to usher in a new definition of extremism, likely to cover all political and ideological bases. Gove is mentioning both Islamist and far-right organizations and their harmful activities that slip under the radar as the reason the current understanding of extremism is too narrow. And first and foremost, this originally applied to those that are groups that are funded by government, which are considered harmful, all right, to the British society. But, as I just read to you, the understanding of the idea of extremism on his behalf, on what the definition of extremism is going to be broadened to even to those, as I just read, the harmful activities, organizations and the harmful activities that slip under the radar, meaning those that haven't been funded. So this is all going to apply for all people that have an opposing view against the government, which is down here in the UK, the government that we are under. All right. So let's read on some more about this. But there doesn't seem to be a consensus on this in the U.S. cabinet, with some ministers voicing fears that a lot of groups taking a stance on several issues, such as those opposed to lockdowns, religious organizations that are anti-abortion, happy marriages, transgender women in places designated as same-sex radical student groups, etc., could get caught up in this widened definition dragnet. The problem with that is that these groups are now operating lawfully according to the Equality Act of 2010. And if the definition is also made enforceably, even political parties such as the Scottish National Party could end up on the wrong side of the new rules, reports say. So that's all I'm going to read from here. The point of the matter is that we're drawing near to the time where these devils want to put an end to, these various groups that don't correspond with what the British government has said to the public that they must do. All right. And the ultimate reason for that, as I think, is the fact that a lot of people in the UK are waking up quickly as to the corruption that's been going on as of lately surrounding their government and other things all around the world that's been going on. OK, especially what you have is this, as they call it, this anti-Semitism spirit, which is taking over. So much so that even in America, they're looking to pass a bill to go against those that criticize the state of Israel. Okay? So when you got a lot of people waking up to who the problem of the planet Earth is, and it's no longer the so-called black man with the hoodie, now you have problems, because we were supposed to be the scapegoat for the so-called JOO. But you see, people are looking beyond the nigga with the hoodie on. People are looking at who the real niggas are. And it's the ones that's wearing the suits and ties with the turkey neck. And that's what people are realizing who the problem is. Okay? Just to put it in that way. Now, I want to read this as well. German police conducts raids. This is from the ABC News. As this reads, German police conducts raids against people suspected of posting misogynistic hate speech online. German authorities have carried out raids across Germany against people suspected of posting. Yeah, I've read that already. Berlin, German law enforcement authorities on a Thursday carried out raids across Germany against people suspected of posting misogynistic hate speech on the internet as a part of a coordinated push to shine the spotlight on online violence against women. Police raided homes and interrogated 45 suspects in 11 states. Early Thursday, none of the suspects were detained. Germany's federal criminal police officer said in a statement another 37 suspects were already searched and interrogated in previous weeks and months, and the raids were part of a combating misogyny on the internet day of action, which comes one day before International Women's Day. Yeah, so as I just read, they did that to push fear upon those that share these views and that are speaking on these views and putting it on the internet. All right. And really all around, it's just to put fear in people that have different views, man, rather than hearing what the government has to say and going with that view instead. That's what all of this is about. This is just getting your mind ready for a reality which will be had that they're going to basically take away your freedom and your rights to speak on things that they don't want you to really talk about. Okay. And this is all prophecy. We've been talking about this, beginning with the head elders, the apostles of the great millstone, and the men on down, the order. We've brought this to the forefront first to y'all, that the day is going to come where there's going to be a persecution that will be had, especially upon those that fear the Lord. That's in the book of 2nd Ezra 16, and I believe is verse 71. But anyway, speaking of the scriptures, let me first read this. This is Matthew 5, and we will begin to read. As you know what? I'm not going to read this as of yet. Let me do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read, because what I should have done. Let me read this instead. Hold on, wait there. Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is this, because I thought I had put these scriptures in order. I want to put everything in order, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read. Yeah, okay. I'll read this instead. I'll read this. All right. So this is Matthew 5. And we're going to read verse 10. It says, "Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. And as well as it reads, rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you." Because we know that the time is going to come that there's going to be raids. And we know that basically when the police comes and raids against anybody, they're coming urgently to take you out of the house. They're coming to break down your door, to take you out of the house, to put you in some kind of a prison camp or something. All right. Because of the things that you've posted online, which they deem it as hate. Okay. This is just nothing more than a test upon those that are posting, as they call it, misogyny on the internet. All right. But we know, like I said, that there's going to be raids upon those, like the scripture says, there's going to be a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So this is why they're going to begin to come in that spirit of being draconian. Matthew's 27, and I'm going to read this over here. This is when Yahushua was brought to Pontius Pilate so that he can give his account, because all of the Jews at the time were placing the blame on him, which was, our people, the majority of our people didn't like him. So, he was brought to the chief priests and the elders and Pontius Pilate, and he answered not a word. So hopefully when we go through our persecution, we're going to be in the same kind of state of mind where we're going to be at peace and just go through what we got to go through. So I just want to read this over here. And Yahushua stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, Art thou the king of the Jews? And Yahushua said unto him, Thou sayest. And when he was accused of the chief priests and the elders, he answered nothing. And then said Pilate unto him, Hearest thou not how many things they witnessed against thee? And he answered him to never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. Right. He didn't justify himself at all, because Yahushua already knew that that was his role to play, to be obedient unto death and to be the sacrifice so that he can reconcile the nation of Israel. That was his role. And like I said, he knew this. Okay. So when we're brought before, people of high regard in this society, Lord willing, we're going to have the same mindset. We're going to know exactly what we're going to have to do and how we're going to have to act, because as well as he understood, Lord willing, we're going to continue to understand that we are under the authority of the Lord, and we have to basically continue to bend to his will and fulfill what is written of the scriptures, as it is also written that no servant is greater than his master. So if it's for one of us to be beheaded, then that's the route that we're going to have to go and undertake. Because when it's all said and done, it's going to end well. Yeah, all kind of hell's going to break loose, and the powers that be, they're going to run raids, which is also reminiscent. I just already quoted 2 Ezra 16 and 70 all the way down to 73. As it also reads, right, that the scriptures are for the sake of instruction and reproof. So we know all of this is going to come, and we understand why it's going to come. So knowing all of this should keep us in the state of peace anyway. So without me doing any more talking, let me continue to read something else, because I want to read this as well. This is going back since last week. This was aired out about the Canadian Prime Minister of the country, Justin Trudeau. This is what he says: praying in public, reading aloud from Bible is hate speech to be severely punished. The Trudeau government has introduced a bill that could land Christians in prison for quoting the Bible or expressing a traditional faith-based opinion if the Canadian government deems it promotion of hatred or anti-Semitism. Bill 6367 purported to amend the criminal code will redefine the boundaries of free speech, criminalizing public Bible readings, prayers, and other expressions of Christian teachings. This move by Trudeau's Liberal government has been interpreted by many as an attempt to criminalize Christianity and traditional values under the pretense of combating undefined hate speech. Right, because they want to get rid of truth in general. And the ultimate thing of truth is the Bible. So if they can get that out of the way, then they can do whatever the hell they want to do under the guise of the spiritual demon Shaitan. All right. Because as we've already been saying, the New World Order is going to be about everything that which is against the truth. And they're putting that spirit out there right now, because they got to get the ball rolling, because time is running out. Time is running out. And this is what we want them to do. We want them to do this. They're being led right to the snare. Ecclesiasticus 2 In verse, I thought I had the scripture on deck. Oh yeah, right here. Where was I looking? Yeah, so this is Sirach chapter 4 and 28. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. And also Revelations chapter 2 and verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, and that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So that's all we got to do. Now, right now, it's easy to say these things, but we're going to have to apply the precepts that we've been reading all along. The Lord is going to up the ante, and the Lord is going to bring us to a whole nother level. And this time, we're literally going to have to walk by faith all the way in through. Because if you truly believe that you're an Israelite, you're going to have to lose everything. And you may even, including, have to lose your life. So it's going to start getting real for a whole lot of us, man. In that time, it's not going to be cool to say that you're an Israelite and all of this extra stuff, man. Like, this time is going to separate, as the saying goes, separate the men from the boys. Right here, 2 Ezra 16 and verse 73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire, which is very reminiscent of Zephaniah. Let me read that, actually, since I'm in the Bible. Zechariah 13 and 9. And it reads, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried, and they shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say it is my people, and they shall say the Lord is my power. So when we pass through all of this, which represents Jacob's trouble, and then we call on the name of the Lord, then it's going to be well known that we are the Lord's people, we are the chosen. So there you have it. All of this is going to come, man. The persecution of the saints. This is something that we've always been speaking about, man. We've already seen this coming a mile away. This is nothing of a surprise at all. Okay? Because the whole agenda is to shut everybody down. And primarily, the most important people they want to get off of the streets is the Israelites. Especially beginning in Europe. Because Europe is a very important place to these Amalekites. And then on towards, America, okay, which America is still that main place for the salvation, and as well as it's the main place for the great dreadful judgment which is coming upon those that have sinned, especially in Babylon. All right. But everything's going to begin in Europe, and then it's going to work its way further west in regards to the persecution of those that speak truth. And we are on the highest level when it comes to speaking the truth, because we understand the Bible, which the Bible is against this world in totality. This is the world of the spiritual demon Shaitan, where politicians and people that are even more higher than these politicians work their dark magic to get their way. That's their power. Our power is in Yahweh Shai. All right. And when you preach Yahweh Shai, you're basically an enemy to this world, as well as the elder apostle Gabar put it. And doing the video that he did, So that's all I have to say, man, with this. I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And what I want to also read is this as well. I almost forgot about this. This is Paul, the Apostle Paul here. While he was on the ready to die, this is what he reads, or as it reads, for I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. And I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course, and I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord Yahweh, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day. And not to me only, but unto all of them also that love his appearing. He was wrong in saying that, because he was going to come back to fill his lot once again to preach. And we don't know who the Apostle Paul is, but he's here somewhere doing the work. But if he does this again, then it's going to be official that he's going to be crowned and he's going to be a king in the kingdom. We in this truth, we have to go through the humbling process right now. And we can't hate on that because the Lord is readying us for the great humbling. So if you have an issue with being humble in this truth and going through the humiliation process, then how in the world are you going to deal with what's to come? How the hell are you going to deal with Jacob's trouble? As Daniel put it, that is going to be a time since there was even a nation. You see, so right now we have to be humble.